Welcome back to another Sunday football review. We're live and we're ready to kick it off. The Browns are taking on the Steelers and the Ravens are sitting on the edge of their seat, excited, hoping the Browns can shake things up and make it actually an exciting game. And something that kind of plays in their favor is there's no DK Metcalf playing today because he went all WWE against a fan. And it seems to be taking quite a life of its own, this whole story.
From a distance, if you didn't know that was an NFL fan, you would think he was really going against the woke left.
That alone, the cartoonish nature of that wig makes this feel more staged than anything else. But getting to the story itself, you know, normally I'd like to report these types of things, but nobody presents the full story better than a studio favorite, Jack Mack.
We saw DK Metcalf kind of punch a fan during the Steelers-Lions game. On James Harrison's podcast, a former player with the Steelers, he said that DK told him that the fan called him the N-word. Ocho Cinco said he heard the same thing. Obviously a very serious allegation against the fan that was wearing a blue-haired wig. No one knew who the fan was, but he went on the offensive. Last night, he obtained a lawyer. He may have already had a lawyer. The Head Murphy law firm put out this statement saying that Ryan Kennedy categorically denies the use of the N-word, the C-word. It was also said that he called DK Metcalf's mother the C-word, or any racial, misogynistic, or hate-based slurs during the incident that occurred on December 21st, 2025. These allegations are completely false. The good news is there's a lot of cameras at NFL games, and there was a fan that was sitting behind the incident that did record it. And Prem A Football got access to this video. Fan claims he was just calling DK by his real name.
Dude, he snatched him immediately.
You're right. Walked right to him too.
Instant he got over there, he grabbed him.
James Harrison on his
no moment for exchange words, you know, whatever that trigger point is they're trying to sketch it out to be. No, he literally just sought him out, walked to him, did it. So he didn't yell it. He's saying he's trying to paint the picture of when I got close, he said this word. Yeah. It's like, dude, you didn't even give him that moment. You got there and snatched.
Podcast Debo and Joe said that DK Metcalf told him after he got close to the fan, that is when the fan used the N-word. Now, we haven't heard from DK Metcalf. It's all been hearsay. Joe Harrison said he spoke to him. Ocho Cinco said he heard from somebody that heard from DK Metcalf that it was the N-word. But, yeah, he's been suspended for 2 games. And the Steelers have to win these games, these next 2 games, to make it to the playoffs. So tough time to be suspended. But the NFL doesn't play around with people striking fans. You can't do that. Since these false statements began circulating publicly, Mr. Kennedy has been subjected to harassment, threats, and messages advocating violence. The statement does seem like Mr. Kennedy may be suing. I don't know who he will sue. Probably DK. Maybe the 2 podcasts I mentioned. I don't know if you can sue DK for what he allegedly said to those 2 podcasts. Not a lawyer. But yeah, oh man, a tough time during playoff run for the Steelers too. But it seems like Mr. Kennedy is going to get his.
So what's even crazier is this goes on to cost DK well over $500,000. You're looking at $520,000, $540,000 in being suspended in the next 2 games. But then even more so, if it holds out that they can't prove that there is some obscenity or trigger language that was used, then there's a clause that would then allow him, or really the Steelers, to escape a guaranteed $40 million in future salary. So this could be well over a $500,000 cost, upwards to a $40 million cost mistake. And I don't know what to make of this guy. There's another angle that as soon as he turns around, he goes, woo, I got him to do it. So was he fishing for this moment? I don't know, but he seems to be pretty well staged. The moment this happens, the lawyers are filing the paperwork, and then he has a press conference.
It is really hard to get me upset, but there's 2 things animal abuse, racism, like I get hot right away. Like I
did
can
you say
feel
the
my
first
face
reason?
gets all warm.
Two things that make him really hot: animal abuse and racism. Wow.
Dude's in a backwards fitted cap in a suit,
In a
by the
suit.
way.
Well, jeans.
Oh, jeans.
Jeans but a jacket, button down, backwards Lions hat. Oh, wait, the creme de la creme of this interview is the last thing he says. Just hang on, because it only gets better.
So I guess I want to be crystal clear about one thing. I didn't use any racial slurs, no hate speech. I mean, none of that stuff at the game.
Not me.
Actually, never. 15 years, season ticket holder
Actually, I've got 2 black friends.
for the Lions. I've never done that at all. So, to Kalen, if you're watching this, man, if you could just say that, please. Like, my family's getting threats and stuff, and it's not cool. So, whether you said that or not, I'm sure you didn't want that to happen to the family. Even if you did, like, I forgive you, man. Okay, that's all I got. Go Lions.
Go Lions.
Hey, all right, he is a fan.
Right at the end. That's all I got. Go Lions. Just imagine this happened at a Browns game. Just like, go Browns. Just like, got to get my team in there. Dude, this is supposed to be, a press conference revolving around a lawsuit rooted in assault. And you're like, go Birds. Go
I
my
wish
team.
you wore the wig. You should have wore the wig.
Yeah.
If you're going to do something like this, wear the wig.
That is going to become notorious, the blue wig. But this has gotten quite a lot of attention across the league, polarizing opinions. Some people, many backing DK, others criticizing the moment where at a certain point you got to rise above it, especially when the cost is so high. But this is going to be Rand Carthen from ESPN, and he kind of calls it as it is.
Why were you even over there? Regardless of what was going on, what was being said, why were you over there? And then I follow that up, where was team security? Because you have all these people on the sideline that protect you, or that should be there to protect the players, to stay between them and the fans. You have stadium security, you have team security. Where were these people when this was going on? And Haley, you said it, this guy was a troll. And this will not end well, right? Because like Pete said, DK is going to face some sort of reprimand from the league, whether it's a fine, suspension, but then I will bet that this guy is going to follow up with some form of a civil suit because he for you to come out as a fan already speaking to the media, doing interviews, giving your name, like this is what this guy lives for. And now you're adding to this. And on the flip side of it, now Mike Tomlin's going to be asked about it. Aaron Rodgers is going to be asked about it. Everyone on your team has to answer for your actions in a situation that you should not have been over there.
It is interesting, Will. We don't have the clip for today's episode, but they did press Tomlin on it just I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And he took a very neutral position. I was surprised how much he was like, hey, DK's got an appeal going on today, so I'm trying not to address it because I'm trying not to get in the way of where that appeal may go. But having heard his side of the story, I understand it. I respect it. It's like, whoa. To have Mike Tomlin back you up as much as he did, kind of, it makes me feel like there's more support or justification for DK's outburst, more than we see, because Tomlin really, he calls the balls and strikes pretty fairly. But I don't know. At the same time, it's one of those, regardless, I finally saw Ocho Cinco say this. It took a couple times of breaching this dialogue before he finally was like, at a certain point, though, you don't touch a fan. You could jaw a fan, but you don't touch a fan, no matter how. Go to another side of the sideline. I mean, the guy can't have access to every section. They're guarded by ticket, liaisons. So just go to another section. But I'm going to hand it off to Emmanuel Acho here from the G Sports. He kind of, I think, says it as most of us see it.
DK Metcalf needed to get suspended 2 games. Because what we know is what DK Metcalf did. What we are assuming is what the fan did. We all watched DK Metcalf walk over to the fan with his own legs. Nobody forced him. Grab the fan and then mush the fan. We know what that was. We don't know what the fan did. The fan allegedly called DK Metcalf the N-word, which also, by the way, every time an athlete that's black does something that's regrettable, why we instantly say, yeah, but they called me the N-word. Myles Garrett swung his helmet at Landry Jones. Landry called me the N-word. The 4K audio ain't pick it up. DK Metcalf, he called me the N-word.
Jones.
DK, there's cameras there.
I don't know.
There's cats with camera phones. We got to come up with better stories.
Oh,
And
so he's lying.
I'm not saying he's lying, but what I know is we don't know. We all saw what DK did. The thing that runs me hot to 5 is this. DK is now out $500,000, $266,000 a game. So he's out like $522,000, something like that, $540,000. He's out the final 2 games of the season. Not must-win games, but would love to win games, by the way. And all because he couldn't control his temperament. Social Trey, how old's your daughter, sir?
13.
If she were here, would she be able to finish this phrase? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but
Words will never hurt me.
they sure as hell shouldn't cost you $500,000.
Yeah.
Words should never cost you $500,000. They might hurt you. Let them hurt you. Words hurt me. But they shouldn't cost you $500,000. That's my dilemma with it all. Like somebody calling you the N-word, allegedly, obviously. Like there's genuinely no factual proof to him calling you N-word. And now you out $500,000 for a mush? At least knock him out for $500,000.
Damn.
At least draw blood. You out 500, Shady. He's out for this.
That's my point. I'm blaming the NFL.
I love, not to cut you off real quick, I love LaShawn McCoy, the one that said blame the NFL. He is Ryan Clark 2.0. Like, he loves avoiding accountability at all costs. He immediately jumps to the NFL. You could tell the whole time while Manuel was talking, the other two are kind of in agreement. And you could see in LaShawn McCoy's, he's trying to find a way to be like, it's not DK's fault. It is.
Well, and that's the bigger point that I wanted to jump on too, is of course there's always a deflection, the deflection being the easiest target, the fans. And, you know, you watch a baseball game anymore and the entire stadium is netted and we're slowly losing kind of the intimacy of the sport. The more you point at the fans, the folks that make you worth $1 million or $40 million that you can lose, we all buy your jerseys. It's our eyeballs and viewership that makes it what it's worth. And you continue to blame us. There's a stadium of 70,000 people, all well-behaved, not fighting the other fans, just enjoying a time, America's pastime, and then you resent them because one guy triggered somebody who has no self-control. Because, you know, something that's so far removed from this, but I was kind of thinking about it today, how funny it is that Eli Manning had a good career, but is looked at as a great because Tom Brady just could never beat him. And Tom Brady was talking about wherever he goes, especially Giants fans, scream at him, Eli is your daddy. And it's like, that's just, you know, silly folks having fun being silly. That's got to get annoying. But to be
everywhere I go, Eli Manning's your dad. Oh my God.
Exactly. But guess what? This is a man who is involved with mountain lion CRISPR and bringing back Beowulfs from the dead. He's a billionaire. Do you want to be a billionaire, DK, or do you want to be a gutter rat? Because at some point you got to go, well, billionaires, you know what? This is the power of the posse. Go have someone within your posse go humble him. Let them take the fall. The purpose is so you still remain $40 million richer.
Right. I like that. Think of Shohei Ohtani. He threw his translator under the bus immediately. He's like, you got to take the fall, dude. You got to take this fall.
Yeah.
I'm winning the World Series this year. You got to go out.
We're in the World Series this year. You're right. But, you know, I guess closing out the whole topic, it's one of those, you let the situation win. You did not win in the situation. And for that, I don't have much empathy.
Especially for DK. You've been in the league quite a bit now.
Yeah.
You're not like a young kid, not used to this. You've been in the league for a few years. You should know better than to even think about acting like this.
Well, and there's rumors that there's like a history between them, that DK's warned, you know, Seattle about this guy, and that he's warned the Steelers about this guy. And even if that's the case, he's like a leashed dog. He can't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So if you already know to expect, that's Bob, and Bob's a bitch. I just gotta. Why'd you go out? You walked over to the leashed dog and got bit?
He's literally the guy from Happy Gilmore, jackass.
And Happy Gilmore lost the situation.
Right? There's literally Adam Sandler could have taught you a lesson about this, and you failed.
See, them white movies just teach us lessons again.
Maybe he was a Billy Madison fan. I don't know.
Yeah, that could have been shooter. Oh yeah, that gets you fined now in the league. Why? Because the culture that creates engineers. I forgot. Let's transition. This league, you know, some people with the holidays, Christmas, you know, Netflix is kind of new to the whole game, and they may have been opened a peek behind the veil a little bit more than some of these pros like CBS or Fox. They're naturals. They've been doing it forever. But this week during the holiday season, with all the attention, people have kind of brought up some inquiries about whether or not, you know, I only do this once or so each season. Is the league rigged? You know, that seems to be a common narrative we see over and over again. And first, I want to go back to the Broncos game of last week, where it was against the Seahawks. And is this...
This is the classic example that woke me up to the rigged NFL. We've got Doug Baldwin giving a thumbs up side to his defender so he can duck under and he can go over. It is plain as day, and there's no reason to take your hand off the football to give a thumbs up sign to a guy who happens to go high as you go low. And such a bad whiff. I mean, he almost holds his arm up to allow Baldwin to get underneath his arm. It's just a classic example of this rigging. But you fanboys, you grown...
That's such a sloppy tackle. That's the only thing that's got me iffy about this play, is that tackle is almost intentionally sloppy.
I want to know if the guy's a Broncos fan, though.
Yeah. or like you said, he's got money on it, you know, and it's just like, well,
that's what I mean. It's so difficult to just assume, but I do appreciate these guys do the analysis videos. He's like, look at the thumbs up. What do you think the thumbs up? And it's like, these people are running at full speed. Are you sure he noticed it was a thumbs up? Just
that is fair.
The NFL is rigged. You saw it here, bro.
So you see this guy right here? I don't know who that guy is, but the next play.
But, you know, maybe you're right with that one. But I think Netflix, they're still learning.
I think I know why. They were a little bit off their game. It's because Stranger Things came back that night.
It could be.
They had a lot of things to focus on.
It could be. It took them how many years? But there's an interesting dynamic here where did Netflix catch something on TV that they weren't supposed to, or normally are better at hiding?
All right, so you see this guy right here? I don't know who that guy is, but the next play will be a false start on Detroit. Now watch him, this guy. False start. That's the next play, guys. Watch. Oh, what? Oh, there's a flag. I
Huh,
wonder
there was a
whatever it could
flag.
be.
Oh,
Whoa. It's in the
Dude, why was
script,
that ref
guys. It's in
jacked?
script.
because
Now Dan Campbell's
It
gonna
was
act like he's all mad. This is WWE in a
you would be too if that's all you had to do was ref a 3-hour game, wake up at your leisure, work out, man, the life. But you know, it's not only us, the fans, that are having the great noticing. Even some of the coaches like Sean McVay are coming out asking some of the right questions.
I haven't seen anything like what happened on the 2-point conversion where you're lined up to kickoff. Then they say it's a fumble because they had the clear and obvious recovery. Now you tack it on, you make it a 30-30 game. Very interesting. Didn't get a clear explanation of everything that went on just because of some of the timing of it. They were trying to be able to do that, but that's the thing that I've said. I've never seen anything or never been a part of anything like that, and I've grown up around this game. I'm not making excuses. We don't do that. I don't believe in that. It doesn't move us forward, but we do want clarity and an understanding of, you know, the things that we can do to minimize that when we rejected the 2-point conversion.
That's a perfect politician answer. You know, we're not making excuses here, but I would like clarity so we don't make whatever this mistake is again in the future. It's like a perfect way of pointing out something that deserves some attention. Now, the reason I bring this up is because earlier on in this season, we had a video from Austin Eckler calling out the people that kind of open this inquiry of whether or not the NFL is rigged. And we were able to find a sports law attorney that had some comments on the whole deal that directly calls out Austin Eckler and tries to bring some legal justification behind the consideration.
Austin, that's a great question. I've actually read the NFL Constitution, so I'm more than happy to explain the general skepticism. So the NFL bylaws established the league as a trade association with the primary purpose of promoting and fostering the business of league members, meaning the team owners. So immediately following that statement is a clause, a discretionary clause, which states that to accomplish goal number 1, doing and performing other such functions may be necessary, which in legal terms means we can do whatever we want to ensure profits. So to summarize, the NFL is a multi-billion-dollar entertainment business with the sole purpose of increasing the value of its owners. I make this point to demonstrate that by contractual definition, it would not be illegal for the NFL to script games. And furthermore, in the NFL bylaws, it does not say anywhere that the NFL has any obligation to maintain or protect professional competitive integrity. But news broadcasts say it's real, but players pretend like it's real. Yeah, maybe they're just acting. I mean, it's not like they're legally binded for their opinions or playing pretend, and I think most people would lie for tens of millions of dollars. So put that to the side. Anyway, now that we've established the legal definition and purpose of the NFL being a for-profit entertainment business maximizing profits of the 32 owners, we can look at the financial incentives being highly tied to viewership, media rights, sponsorships, and sports betting. U.S. sports betting. The laws are still on a state level, meaning there is no federal law restricting league owners from entering commercial partnerships with sportsbooks. And sportsbooks are almost always private, so those contracts would not need to be public information. Honestly, pretty savvy, I won't lie. But corrupt still. So I would go deep on any of those other incentives and how they directly could lead to corruption as well. But the primary point applying to all of them is the NFL. If the NFL can make more money for the sportsbooks and for their sponsors and for the broadcasting companies, it makes more money for them, which is, by definition, their legal responsibility. So NFL revenue has increased from roughly $6 billion to, I think, 20 or more than 20 in the past 2 decades. Just saying. Broadcasting companies, CBS, Fox, Disney, NBC, have also all seen revenue increases over the past 2 decades. I know you can't prove it's from the NFL. I'm just pointing that out. Sportsbooks have been legalized in over 30 states in the past 7 years, resulting in tens of billions of dollars in gross gaming revenue to those states and billions of tax dollars, and the NFL making up more of gross gaming revenue than any other sport, just putting that out there. So I don't know, with all this in mind, it seems like it would be irresponsible of these business owners to not script or at least manage the outcomes of these games. But again, just my opinion. We could also talk about the dozens of whistleblowers or the proven fixed games that we've all just moved on from. Or no, better yet, I could just pull up all the clips of defenders going completely blind whenever Patrick Mahomes has the ball. But no, I'll just leave it here. Logic's better than proof, because proof doesn't work. People who want to believe something will let even their eyes deceive them. So, plus, I don't really want to mess with you guys, honestly. You asked me for this, so don't come for me.
So, Will, what do you think?
Holy yap. Dude, take a breather. I was getting tired listening to it. It's a good point, though, because you think of the players are probably not individually throwing games.
Right.
Because they're probably too involved with it. They're probably not thinking it. It matters to them. They get money for performing better.
Fair.
Now, for the individuals in charge of the games, that's a different conversation, something to look into. And it's not just the NFL people have looked into for those reasons. You look into the NBA. The NBA famously has had NBA officials get caught, rigging games to a certain degree.
Right.
I think baseball is the only one where like players have actively been caught throwing pitches. Your own Cleveland Indians have been caught in that situation. But in terms of the NFL, I can understand why Austin Eckler wouldn't think so. Because again, your players are on the field. They get incentives for performing well. They're not going to intentionally not perform well. As far as I could imagine. Would it shock me? No. I do love when people make videos like that with them walking and just talking and yapping, though. Dude, it exhausts me. I don't know how they do it. They do it so effortlessly, though. That dude's a professional yapper.
I think it's definitely something that can be steered, guided, and manipulated from mechanisms that players and the majority of the people involved don't even realize it's going on. So I think you could have compromised coaches, you could have compromised referees, and within the outer network, no one's any the wiser. We had discussed in the past, one of the things that I think would be the easiest way to accomplish this is just compromising the offensive and defensive coordinator for each team that's up in the booth. They're not even down on the field with their team. You could have them call the plays and read the schemes opposite the other team. And no matter how good the play is, if you have a defense that's perfectly coordinated to shut that play down, you're just increasing the odds for that outcome. Or if you wanted a successful offensive play, you could do a defensive scheme that totally opens up that side of the field or leaves a wide receiver totally open, or a gap within the line wide for a running back. But you could coordinate it. And then again, none of the players, even the majority of the coaches, nobody even knows that this scheme's going on. But to sit here and pretend like players are getting a script that when they show up in the locker room and there's a script in the locker. I mean, even the WWE isn't even that scripted. It's improvised. So they have like a general idea. Go watch a WWE documentary about a pissed wrestler who made a deal with the wrestler that the show's going to go this way, but then when they actually went out into the ring, totally flipped that thing on its head, and that wasn't a part of the script. So even then, even the things that are scripted aren't scripted like we've come to know them like it's a movie and the dialogue and everything. So nobody's pointing, hey, I'm going up while you go down type deal. But enough of those plays happen that I think people that end up kind of opening that door, I don't blame them. There's enough evidence to justify being curious about it. But I don't think it plays out the way we normally think it does.
I agree.
So with all the considerations of across the league this past week, more than anything, the QBs were the highlight of the week. Things noteworthy. Starting off that consideration would be, of course, the studio favorite, Phillip Rivers.
Hey,
got to get our stinkins and our bull craps in.
Don't start that. Hey, don't
Stinking
start
overload.
That,
Dude, he literally walks around like a dad.
Rivers has a free shot, throws into the end zone.
Let's stink and go.
Heck yeah, baby!
Heck yeah, baby!
That's a dude who loves playing football, man.
Give him a dog. Dog him. That's a guy that loves football. You're right. Let's stinking go. You know, that's what makes football so exciting to tune in each week. But with this kind of exciting moment of the season, Phillip Rivers, it was great watching the 49ers kind of give Phil his accolades at the end of the game.
Good game, man.
Honor to be able to play out here with you, man.
You're on fire,
So
man. You're
cool.
fun to watch.
I appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Keep it rolling.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thanks, man.
You forget how fun Wednesday and Thursday are, you know, just being on the practice field. Is everybody good? I actually feel good.
Do you?
Yeah, I actually do. I feel good. 53. Yeah.
Hey, it was an honor to get my first sack against you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry. That's such a awkward exchange. Like, I'm so happy you're my first sack. Like, what? Dude, the whole game is not to get sacked. You think I'm psyched for that to be your thanks for the honor, but I just find that to be such an awkward exchange. If I was the Hall of Famer, like, what?
Dude, if I hit a home run off of Justin Verlander, I'd be like, thank you. Thank you for throwing it right down the middle.
You're going to say that to him?
Yes, 100%. Do you know how many home runs that man's probably given up? Do you know how many times Phillip Rivers has been sacked?
Cool.
Like, for them, it's like, this is their goal. That's my objective, is to sack you. Literally, Myles Garrett's praised for having a graveyard of quarterbacks he's sacked. You think those quarterbacks particularly like having their name up there? But
that's going to be literally, as I was waiting for you to stop, that's exactly what I was going to say. Do you think they like it? So the thing is, if you want to be friends with Justin Verlander, you say it to your friends, not to Justin Verlander.
But that's the thing. It's like, I'm not. Like, I like the way our careers, dude, you're going to retire again in 3 days. Like, I'm not going to see you again. So my one opportunity to see you is, dude, that was my first career sack. You're a legend. Like, you're a legend. Thank you. And Phillip Rivers, it's just another Sunday. Hey, nice. Hey, good game, man. He's going, like, for instance, he's going up to 53 in this clip to say, hey, nice interception.
Yeah.
Like, way to pick me off. The guy who sacked me, it's like, oh, how dare you say you sacked me? But I'm going to go up and congratulate the guy who intercepted me. That's what I mean. It's like, for these other players on the other side, that's their objective. That's their goal. For them, it means something to them.
Oh, it definitely means
something. So
that's
why I think in the moment it's, well, what do you say? Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, dude, you're so cool. I sacked you. Like, yeah, hey, good game.
Good play, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you knew it from the earlier chat?
Yeah, I did.
Golly.
I heard you checking me.
I hit him on that side.
Yeah.
Good play.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good play, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, the way he trash talks is like an early 2000s Disney character.
Yes.
Like Goofy.
So on top of that, we're just keeping with the quarterbacks, keeping them rolling. You're defending sportsmanship, strong exchanges between quarterbacks. Here's Baker kind of closing out the end of the Buccaneers season. I mean, they're not totally out of it, but kind of making their fate a little bit more difficult.
I got a big day today.
Yeah, and having a great exchange between him and the defensive tackle, Bobby Brown III. Immediate, no. It's just a small gesture that I think even again speaks that levity and respect that you were talking about that you find in the sport.
Well, they're combatants. They all know what's at stake here.
Yeah.
And especially for Baker in that division, he's kind of ran that division since he's moved in there. And, you know, everybody makes aggressive mistakes, kind of recognize it.
Oh, yeah.
Some people make other aggressive mistakes like punching a fan. Sometimes it's just a game-sealing interception.
Well, that's what makes coming into Cleveland against the Browns a little bit more difficult. Lacking a DK. Anyway, getting to, speaking of which, Shador, I got to hand it to this guy. No matter how much the media has tried to paint an image of him and shake him by giving him inflammatory questions, whether it's his media training or just his charisma and character. He's done a great job of handling these moments and coming off the tail of the last weekend where, again, the media is just trying to razzle up the locker room and further that wedge between Stefanski and Shedeur, where I will say Stefanski has failed these moments every time. Shedeur has risen above and owned these moments, and that's where I want to give the kudos.
Go for it on 4th and 2.
I know you can't be asking me that question, man. Come on, man.
His grade does it with like a big grin.
That's like the thing. Like, if we want to change the narrative, change the franchise, if we want to like help, we got to speak life. You can't. Those type of things is like separate us. Like a lot of the players like get these type of questions, and then we want to be working with y'all. We want to be proactive, but like when you ask questions or when questions are asked to us players, and it's like you pinning stuff against each other, it's like, come on now, you know, because that separates the team. That don't help anything. It don't help anything in any situation.
I mean, it's true. I mean, it seems like he's the only one trying to breathe that life back into this dead franchise. And I got to commend him for handling these moments like a professional, where most people aren't short to find a criticism. You got to give the accolades where you can. And closing it out, speaking of which, for a quarterback, we've given the hardest time here, painting his nails, dancing in skirts, and turns out he's going to be carrying the Bears to a conquering season. Caleb Williams just closes out an awesome moment against the Packers with a huge rival game. Look at the fans living in this moment. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I can't believe it.
And this is what we don't see these enough anymore. Like
There haven't been too many walk-off touchdowns this year. I agree.
Yeah, that was fun, and
especially in like a high-stakes, high-leverage game for like both teams. Like
for both teams,
yeah.
This was a huge game, and what a huge moment that you and I, especially earlier on in the season, we counted these moments out in Caleb Williams, and he's shown to be a strong force this season.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of which, let's get into our games let's review. We're going to get into our week 17 games, and the Packers being a fun game coming from last night. There's a lot to go over. All right. Taking a look at what came Thursday, first off. Cowboys and Commanders was surprisingly a good game.
Christmas was littered with a lot of good games, honestly.
Admittedly, it turned out to be a strong holiday football run. Even the Lions and the Vikings, who would have thought the Vikings would have dominated the game as well as they did?
Vikings have had a really solid defense. I'm pretty sure they won this game with negative passing yards. It's really remarkable.
Wow. That is remarkable.
I think the kid had like 43 passing yards, but in terms of like the Lions had like 6 sacks. They had like 5 or 6 sacks.
You know, but the second half of this season, the Lions fall off. It's just noteworthy.
There's been funny enough, they lose their offensive coordinator to the Bears. Bears are going to make the playoffs, and the offensive coordinator they got to replace him just isn't quite cutting it. It was a similar situation to the Buccaneers.
It really goes to show how much that changes everything. I mean, the coaches are a pivotal piece to this. All right, let's get into our Thursday night game, Broncos-Chiefs.
Business as usual for the Broncos.
Yeah.
You won a close game, kind of sealing in the fourth. You got fortunate you played Chiefs without Mahomes.
Well, I was going to say, you got to give it to the Chiefs for hanging in for what they did and not having the full force of the Chiefs.
I think they were winning at halftime.
What's that?
I think they were winning at halftime, the Chiefs. It was like,
that's what I mean.
Like
they were handling the game quite well. I was shocked. And then the Broncos kind of took off at the end. let's get to our Saturday games. Texans, Chargers. That's what we were predicting. I thought the Texans were going to dominate, and I think they're going to be one of the more fun teams to watch in the postseason.
They started 0-3 and are now at 11-5. They've really gone on quite a remarkable run.
Well,
and the Chargers, Justin Herbert might just have some bad days.
Right. You never know what Herbert you're getting each week. That is the weird thing with the Chargers. But as far as CJ Stroud goes, it's funny you bring up those first 3 games, because going into week 4, we're like, sophomore slump's over. I don't know what to say about this guy. Is he done? And the answer is heck no, because whatever happened, the light came on, and he's a force.
We went from he's a sophomore slump to bust to, they're going to win their division and be a playoff team. All in one season.
Ravens Packers. This was a fun game last night. Ravens took it at the end, so the score doesn't look as tight as the game really was. Last quarter, Ravens just handled the Packers. Packers had a few opportunities they dropped, but the first 3 quarters, first half, very close, within a score of each other, and two dogfights. Ravens are proving that the Steelers are going to have to earn it.
Derrick Henry got me 45 fantasy points.
Unbelievable what version of Derrick Henry showed up last night. We haven't gotten that all season.
No, that was pretty nice for the playoffs, not going to lie.
Especially because all season we've been saying, hey, seems like Derrick Henry's at the end of his run. He should probably start thinking about retiring. And then, whoa. Talk about a performance last night.
I'm pretty sure that's what we were saying last week.
Yeah. Let's take a look at our Sunday football games. Panthers, Seahawks are actually going to be a much better game than you realize. The Panthers have to win this. The Buccaneers are sitting at the edge of the fence, just hoping that they get humbled by the Seahawks, which I think is highly likely. So that'll make for a good rematch between the Panthers and the Buccaneers next week. But
I got Seattle as well.
Yeah, safe to say we could go with the Seahawks. Cardinals, Bengals. This is a stinky game that I think is going to make for a fun, competitive watch.
I got Cincy. I think Joe Burrow is going to throw for like 3 touchdowns. That's about it.
Yeah, Bengals for sure. Steelers, Browns. Hey, missing some players. You're in Cleveland. Weather isn't so bad, and we seem to always shake things up when we're in Cleveland. We're never going to win when we're in Heinz Field, but when you're in Cleveland, things can change, and the Ravens are rooting for us. So this will be an interesting showing, but the favor's in the Steelers.
For as rough as we can be on Stefanski, he's like, I'm pretty sure in the last 7 games against some like 1-5-1.
Yeah, he definitely has a strong strategy with the Steelers, and it works. So I think this will be a good fight. I think this will be a good one.
I'm going Browns. Why not?
Wow.
Going Browns.
Jags, Colts. This will be an awesome one, but I think it's got to be the Jags. The Jags have dominated. They've proven that they're not just even like, hey guys, we're also here. It's like, no, they're one of the dominant forces in the postseason.
Yeah, I'll go with Jags as well. I'm hoping Big Grant Phil does pretty well today, though.
That's it. I want a performance. That's it. We're rooting for a performance out of Phil, but I really do think the Jags they're a team that have caught their stride. Yeah. They're that 2020 Browns seat. No player is a golden all-star. They're just all performing, holding down their roles, and it's a well-oiled machine at this point.
They got like a solid B+ roster all throughout.
Yes.
That's all they kind of need.
That's all you need. Buccaneers, Dolphins. This is a must-win for the Buccaneers, but the Dolphins have shown that, they are kind of...
They're feisty.
They're feisty.
They're a little feisty. They got rid of Tyreek Hill, and now they're kind of feisty.
You're going to have to earn it. Tua took the
fall. That's why I'm kind of picking Bucks, though. I'm going to go with the quarterback experience over anything else.
Yeah. I mean, there's a valley between the experience of these two quarterbacks.
Probably close to 100 career games in difference now at this point. But the Bucks have been on the slide, and they kind of look demoralized.
Yeah, especially like we had shown, losing against the Panthers this past week was a hit. All right, Patriots, Jets. 12-3 versus 3-12. Woof and woof. Patriots are gonna.
What is that?
Jets.
What is that logo for the Jets? Is this like throwback? What is it?
No, that's. I think they released that in 2019. That was kind of their rebrand.
That's disgusting.
That's a jet. That's a chic jet.
It's disgusting.
No, I meant chic as in like fashionable, not as in chic as in oil conglomerate.
That took me out twice.
Saints Titans, a couple of dingers having some fun in the mud, but Saints are going to wallop them.
Yeah, I think Saints are going to kind of handle this one.
Yep. Sunday 4:00 games. The Giants and the Raiders is a poopy. But the Eagles and the Bills will make for a fun one. So I'm going to go with the Giants on the stinker game. But the Eagles and the Bills, this will be a really good one. This will be a test for both of them. But I kind of, here's, who do I think will win? The Eagles? I really do. I think the Eagles will win. The Bills just seem to juggle these types of games. But you never know what version of the Eagles you're going to get. And on paper, the Bills should be the team that wins.
I think the Bills have the best roster in the NFL. I agree with you. It depends on which team's going to show up, and I think you're going to tell pretty early on in the game which team shows up. I'm going to lean towards Eagles on this.
Here's where I think the Bills are an easy call to win. When you can plan on James Cook popping off. I don't think you're going to see James Cook pop off against the Eagles. That alone is going to keep them within the pen and manageable for the Eagles.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Sunday night game. We're looking at the Bears and the 49ers.
Best game of the day.
Is the best one of the day. Yeah, you're looking at a postseason gauntlet.
You're looking at a potential NFC matchup.
Yeah, you really are. I'm going to go with the Bears. They've seemed to be the team that rises above in these high pressure games. 49ers have seen those 4 losses have been the big games. Bears have shown to come out on top in these big games, but don't count them out. The 49ers have all their pieces, parts, and they've got probably the stronger roster.
Yeah, I'll go with you with Bears on that one. I'd like to see him pull it out.
Yeah. Monday Night Football, Rams and Falcons. This is a stinky because the Rams are just strong and going to manhandle the Falcons. Safe to say.
Yeah, I don't know who would be betting. I don't even think I'd bet the spread on the Falcons. I think I'd go Rams all the way.
All the way. Well, I think that's a good forecast for the football closing out week 17. Here's every episode, we close out our episodes with the goal of trying to make you money. Last week, we failed. Will came out successful, picking 100 rushing yards by rushing and receiving by Christian McCaffrey. But me and Doug, we both lost with our pick. Doug always goes Devon A-Chain, and that finally caught up to him. And CeeDee Lamb had just a dinker of a performance. So we ended up falling up short. Now, today's episode, it may have even felt to you a little wonky, and it's because we actually recorded this already on Friday, but the microphones are out. I'm not blaming anybody, Doug. I'm blaming myself. I'm the one to blame for it. And because of that, Doug and I have already done our punishment for you every week when we fail. For those that fail to succeed in our parlay picks, because the goal is to make you money, they have to drink the ice. So we had to chug our ices. We already did it. So here's our clip from Friday of Doug and I paying our dues. So we're going to take our ice and look. Now watch Doug's face, because bro definitely.
Dude, look at how hard it was for him.
We got frozen there for a second. So, yeah, Doug was struggling, but we did it. We paid our dues. We did our. Anyway, it's nice not having it today, though.
I was like, at least your stomach's all right.
Yeah. Hey, so join on in if you want to get in on the money making. Like I said, we're incentivized. We got to deliver for the people. This week, our parlay picks 2+ passing TDs by Trevor Lawrence. Will's picking it. I'm shocked. Puka Nacua. Doug's going 90-plus receiving yards. And I'm going to be going 230-plus passing yards by Drake May. I think those chic Jets might make that possible. All right, so like I said, the whole goal is to make you money. Jump in on that bad boy so we can have some fun. Otherwise, we're here each Sunday, so be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss us. And join us next week as we plan for Week 8 and we get into the postseason because things are going to get a little exciting and sticky. But between this, right before this, we had our hilarious Grinch moments, our reaction show, and then we have our podcast and the live show on the Rethink Tank podcast. But if you're looking for one central place where you could find all of our content, it's at our website at www.rethinktankpodcast.com. Appreciate you joining us, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.